everybody, Justin Cody Worden here, Director of Business Development with Austin American Technology, and we have a very special guest all the way from Cincinnati, Ohio, visiting us here in Austin, Texas. We got Shantanu Joshi from Koki Solder America. How you doing today, man?
Good, how are you?
Good, how's your flight down here?
Thank you for having me.
Oh, man, it was my pleasure. I'm so glad to have you here. More important, I want to learn about what you have in that box over there. But before we do that, I want to introduce President and COO of Austin American Technology, Todd Rountree. And of course, you all know Mr. Steve Stach, the founder of Austin American Technology, 35 years in running. Steve, thanks for coming in today.
Still alive.
All right, so we are here in our showroom. We got a really special video. Shantanu has brought some special boards that we are actually going to run live through this cleaner. But before we do that, Todd, why don't you tell him what we're standing in front of?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Justin. So this is, as you guys can all see, at least with the length of this machine, but this is the world's smallest full chemistry inline cleaner. So this is a spray and air cleaner. We've got it loaded with a 15% concentration of a saponifier. We are going to wash, isolate, rinse, final rinse, and dry it in 6 feet.
In 6 feet.
In 6 feet.
The one thing you forgot to mention, this is the NanoJet. So if you need a small inline cleaner, you've already outgrew your batch cleaner, give us a call and we'll introduce the NanoJet. But this video isn't about us. We're just here to talk about Shantanu. So what are we going to be testing today?
So today we are testing our Cleanable No Clean solder paste S3X58 M650-7. So it's a halogen-free solder paste with in-circuit testing compatible. You can clean it or leave it as it is. It's designed for no clean, but it's very easy to clean. So we are going to see how easy it is to clean with the new NanoJet machine.
All right, now, Steve, this is where I got to bring it back to you. I mean, you've been teaching me a lot since I joined in the last year, but I just heard him say cleanable, no clean.
Right.
Break it down for me.
Well, cleanable, no clean is something that the industry really does need. I mean, if you're running a production line and you have product that you're going to not clean and you're going to clean, it's nice to run with one material and not have to change out. So it has a big advantage in that sense for this material.
Absolutely.
Well, since we're Austin American Technology, today we're cleaning. So can we run these boards through?
Yes.
All right. Should we start right now?
No, let's go ahead and take a look at them so we can get an idea of what we're starting with.
Okay.
So we know how much we're removing and how well we're doing.
Well, we got the microscope set up over there, so let's jump over there and we'll go ahead and take a look and see what these boards look like. Sound good?
All right.
So what we have here is a test board that you've prepared, and it's been populated with various devices, and we're going to take a look at that underneath the microscope just so we can see what kind of flux we have to begin with, what kind of residues that we're dealing with. So as we can see here, we have a typical looking clear flux residue around this pad right here, significant quantity of it, and around the pads around the perimeter as well, and similar on this device as well.
Correct. The thermal pad does show some residue around.
It does. And then when we look at, for example, this power transistor right here, we've got a lot of bulk residue around the two large terminations, but the bulk of this flux here has wicked underneath the device, and we'll have to look at that from an angle to determine if we have that taken care of. Then we have some large capacitors and an array of smaller capacitors, and just to complete it, we have some really small capacitors, and then some unpopulated pads as well. Over here we have some CPACs and a QFN.
You do see a residue on the leads. Yes.
So we have quite an array of devices. We even have a BGA here. Of course, we don't see any flux because it's all underneath the BGA. So this is what we're starting with, and we'll see how we do.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go run these boards and see what they...
All right, guys, I think it's time to clean.
I think it is.
Do it.
So since you have such a diversity of components on here, it really doesn't matter how we load these too much. You have it on, we're just going to lay it on the conveyor belt, and the electric eye will start it up automatically. What conveyor speed are we running?
1 foot a minute.
1 foot per minute? Okay. There it goes. And so we can just keep loading the boards either from an automatic loader or just by hand onto the belt. Now it's very important in this first section, we want to get as much of the flux off, not just from the surface of the boards, but from underneath the boards. And what we do in here to help that happen is we have a high pressure jet that comes down and puts the fluid underneath of the device. So as we saw on some of those devices, the solder flux has wick underneath the device. And we got to get enough pressure underneath the device in order for the erosion of that flux to be cleaned out from there. If we didn't, then a no clean flux would be a partially clean flux, and that would not be good for the reliability of the board.
Right.
So we don't want.
Whenever we clean the board, we have to make sure that we clean it properly.
That's right.
And thoroughly.
That's right.
Don't clean it haphazardly or partially, because that's going to cause you more harm than good.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's why we have the high pressure sprays in the wash, and why we have the isolation between each sections, so that we can clean it thoroughly and then flush all of that out from underneath the device and then rinse it. And then in the dryer, you'll see very good drying operation. Okay? We're getting close. All right, so you can see, you can lift this up and just take the board out and take a look at it if you'd like. Right. Let's go over here and take a look. Let's go. Boy, those do look nice. This is my calibrated eyeball here. So let's start off in the area that we started off last time. Those were the areas that we were looking at before. And all the fluxes between the pads has vanished. Yep. No marks, water marks, or otherwise ghost marks. Right. Right. All right. Well, you can.
How did you guys?
I think we did great overall. So if you look at the components here, you can see that there is absolutely no residue left after the cleaning. And we saw before the cleaning that there was a lot of residue, especially on the thermal pad. But as you can see here on the thermal pad, there is absolutely no residue. So I think we totally, completely cleaned it in the machine.
And what about, is it dry?
The board is completely dry. We do not see any watermarks. We do not see any splashes, nothing like that. So,
well, everyone, I want to thank you so much for participating in this video. Again, one more time, my name's Justin. We got Todd, Steve, and of course, Shantanu has joined us from Cincinnati. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, Shantanu, what's your email?
Shantanu at KokiAmerica.com.
And what's the best phone number to reach you at?
760-504-2544.
All right, I'm going to throw that on the bottom of the screen. We'll talk to you soon, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.